Hello class, this is Ms. Augustine, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to graph the data from the Charles's Law micro lab that we did. And I am in Google Sheets, and what I did was I typed in the temperature data for the various trials that we did and some volume data. And again, the volume data is the number of drops. By putting in the labels for the axes at the top of your data columns, it is helpful because then when you insert your chart, the axes will already have their labels. So the first thing we do that's always very important to remember is to highlight the data that we're talking about. Then I'm going to go up here into the Insert ribbon and scroll on down to Chart. And it will make recommendations, and I'm looking for a scatter chart, so I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to click Insert. Now, the next thing I'll do is grab with my little hand here and move the chart over to the side. And the purpose of graphing the data today is we want to get a value for absolute zero. And if you look right now, our x-axis only goes from 0 to, looks like, 80. And our y-axis jumps from 0 to 130. So we're going to make some adjustments. I do want to point out that up here you'll notice that our graph has a title, and that title came from the two labels that we put in for the axes, and you'll notice that our y-axis is volume and our x-axis is temperature. And if you wanted to, you could click here, and for instance, I'm going to backspace and get rid of my my number of drops, and I'm going to also delete that and then click enter. So that now has done that for me. And again, if I wanted to change the color, I could make this a different color. And again, I will change, if I want the font size, I could make it bold or not, italics or not. So all of those good things, and then click enter. So the next thing I'm going to do is make sure I'm in the edit mode, and then I'm going to right click anywhere on the chart, and that gives me all of my choices here. So I'm going to go into the advanced edit mode by clicking on it, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I guess I could start by changing all of my colors. So that's my legend colors, and I don't like Arial, so I'm going to switch it to Georgia, and I'm going to leave the background color white. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to change everything to blue just because I want to make sure you know how to do it. And I'm going to make my title and my legends bold. And then I'm going to go and do the same thing for the y-axis. Change my colors, make it bold. Change my color and make it bold. Then what I want to do is, I don't like that my data has this jump from 0 to 130. So in the left vertical axis, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to put my minimum value as 0, and my maximum I'm going to set to 200. And then I'm going to go back up, and I'm going to treat my my x-axis, since I took care of the y-axis, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to make the minimum value here, recalling that we're looking for absolute zero from our data, and remembering that absolute zero is negative 273.15. So I'm going to set my value at negative 300 degrees. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to make the maximum value of 200. So now you'll see that our data is clustered up here, and now we can see that our graph will take us to hopefully close to absolute zero. At the same time, I'm going to add in some grid lines, and I'm going to put in the grid lines as every 10. And I feel like that's going to help us when we put in our trend line. So now we have to put in a line of best fit and see if we can determine what our intercept is. So I'm going to put in our trend line, and I'm going to put in linear. And then I'm also going to add the label, and I'm going to have it use the equation so that we can see what our equation actually is. And now I'm going to click Update. And so now we have a graph. It's a best fit through our points, and you'll see now that it goes all the way down here, and it does give us an intercept, and the intercept looks like it's somewhere between -250 and -300. So let's see what would happen if I add any more tick lines to see if I can get a better read of what my data is. So let me see if I can find them. So our grid lines, what if we put in the minor grid lines of 5? Does that help us? So now putting that in, that would then let us pinpoint this, and actually if we hover right at that point, it looks like we get our line at that point as well. So now I'm going to click Update, and now what we have is a very nice graph of our data, and you'll see that we've got our trend line added in, we have our axes labeled, and we also have our intercept. Hopefully this will help you. Once you have this in your Google Sheets like this, you can then copy and paste your graph into your lab report in Google Classroom, and you can just insert this right into your lab report in your data section, and that makes it very easy and seamless. And again, I hope this helped, and I will see you for the next demonstration video that I post for you.